Do you ever stop to think about where you want to be a year from now? It sounds obvious, doesn't it? But the truth is, most of us let life get in the way. We let society tell us what we can and can't do. We let the opinions of other people hold us back from the things we truly want. It's time we take our control back and start chasing the things that we're truly capable of. So here's a question for you. 12 months from now, where do you want to be? And what does a day in the life of your future self look like?
So what's up guys, it's currently 11:15 in the UK right now, Sunday evening, and it's the day before I filmed this video of the day in the life. Now, the reason I wanted to hop on here is because I'm watching a trade going into tomorrow, which is Euro Pound short. It's very nearly developed, so I wanted to bring you on board. I wanted to show you the exact thought process going into Monday morning, so I wanted to bring you behind the scenes with me and show you what I'm thinking. Spent all weekend preparing for this trade and many others along for this week, so it's looking good. What I'm looking for in Euro Pound simply is we're at the top of the structure, this bigger double top. We also have this first touch, second touch, essentially third touch, but we've just broken out correctively. So I'm looking of this as an extension of the pattern just to move to the downside again. So what I'm looking for in terms of entries, if we drop to the 15-minute chart, I'm looking to see if I can get refined entry on the 15-minute. If we get any sort of formation like this, then I'll likely be in the trade for a 20 pip stop. And then I'll be looking for the first target for 5%, and then we'll see how that reacts, and we'll play that in accordance with the bigger structure. So that's what I'm looking at in Euro Pound. What's up guys, it's currently 7:15 in the UK right now, Monday morning. I've just been triggered into this trade. So as you saw, I mentioned last night, I was watching this trade during the night. However, we've just started to drop now. So just set the entry order below and they're currently triggered into the trade. So on the 15-minute, I was looking for this to reach the third touch, obviously. Didn't quite get there. So I was monitoring it throughout the night and we've just started to drop. So currently in the trade, and I'll keep you all updated with how this progresses today. Hey guys, welcome to this video. So the purpose of this today is to bring you behind the scenes with me and to showcase what I want a day in the life of my future self to look like in 12 months time. So in my case, in 12 months time, I want to be a full-time, consistent and profitable trader. And I want to be at a place where I'm trading investor capital, or I'm in a position to at least trade investor capital. So that's the main thing today. There's a few other goals that I want to achieve as well, but I'm going to bring behind the scenes today and show you exactly what I want to do. And yeah, so currently just in one trade, which is Euro Pound short. I'm going to give you guys a quick run through now and take you through it. So jumping onto the charts now, I wanted to give you a rundown of this Euro Pound short position that I was currently eyeing up later last evening, as you can see from the previous clips. I was looking to see if we got any sort of formation on the 15-minute to take that as an earlier entry, or I was looking to take it on the break as well. So ended up taking it on the break, didn't manage to get the preferred entry up here, which is fine, but ended up taking it on the break. So let's start off with the higher time frames because that's the most important thing here. So as you can see, we've got this bigger double top formation here. You can see this level in here. We've got the bigger double top. We've just broken out slightly, which is fine. And drop into the 1 hour chart. Knowing that price was at the top of the structure, I was keen to get involved in this. And then on the lower time frames, we had the first touch here, second touch, and the third touch essentially. And then we just broke out correctively in the form of this ascending channel, which was fine. Looking to take that to the downside, and currently got involved in this trade early this morning around the 7 AM candle. So that's fine. Currently running around about 2%. And what I'm looking for now, how I'm managing this, is that I have 2 trades open on this right now. So I have one trade
in terms of the shorter term normal style that I'm trading, and then one on a separate capital, which is for the longer term approach. Now, looking to manage these completely differently, looking to hold the longer term one for the medium/longer term. But what I'm looking for next in terms of management is I'm looking to see if we get any further continuation. So if we get any continuation here, acting as that first correction following the first impulsive move, then I'll be looking to take that to the downside once again. So essentially that'll be a scaling position. I'll likely be targeting at least this low here for likely 6%, and then if we do manage to get further, then that'll be nice to take that lower. So just going to see how that develops over the course of today. I'll keep you updated with how I manage this. We're currently just at break even right now, so no need to manage aggressively or anything like that. I'm just going to let it run at this point. So should be good to see how this trade develops, and I'll keep you updated. So just dropped a mini update in the trade analysis Slack channel for the community. So posted a couple of screenshots. So my forecasted position prior to Euro Pound taking that short, and then the actual trade that I got involved in. So hopefully it helps out the community, hopefully it provides value, and yeah, going to see how this develops over the next few hours and hopefully get a scaling opportunity at some point soon. I like that. Stuff like forecasting ASR. Chat to you soon, have a good week, speak to you soon. So my current circumstances at the time of this video is that I'm working a part-time job. I've actually booked the full day of work today just to focus on actually the sensation of becoming a full-time trader and actually get myself in that mental space ahead of time, which is super important. I've done it once before, very powerful, and I'm currently trying to transition to full-time trading. I'm not there in terms of results just yet, but I don't feel too far away at the same time. So currently working on that, trying to get to that place and hopefully transition into full-time trading and have other businesses/projects as well. So that's the stage that I'm trying to get to. And the important point I want to mention is that what you see on social media with the majority of people is that they post the glamorous side of things. I don't want to show that side. I want to show the work that goes in, and 90% of trading is done in the shadows. Like, there's a lot of work that goes in that the majority of people just don't see and don't even think about. So just know that there's a lot of work gone into the scenes, and these past 2 years I've been working very, very hard to get to the place where I am now. Although I'm not where I want to be, I've worked very hard to get to this point, and yeah, I love it more than ever now, even though it's been a roller coaster ride, so many ups and downs, and a lot of hard times as well, just know that. But when you go through those times, it develops your character, you develop this mental armor, and it just helps you develop as a trader and as a person. So yeah, currently working towards going full-time, and when I go full-time, I see myself, I think I want to have a flexible routine. I think if you're too rigid with your routine and you have, you want everything set in place every single day, it's not going to work like that, because trading, I think, within active periods within the market, like we're shaping up now, it's important to be within that executional mode. Like, you need to be at the chart sometimes, take trades. So if I want to go to the gym at 10 a.m. and there's a trade lining up, I'm not going to go, because I'm going to commit myself to being in the charts, wait for that trade to then take it. So I think that's an important point to mention. But the key thing is the preparation in advance. So I already know what I'm looking at for the day ahead. I've got my watch list prepared. I've got my alerts on TradingView set. So if price triggers a certain area, then I'm notified on my phone. So things like that definitely come in handy, and I don't have to be at the charts 24/7. But if a trade is materializing and it's getting close, then I will be at the charts a lot more, like Euro Pound this morning and last night. So that's a key example. But yeah, very excited to go full time. I'm not there yet, but I'm working towards it, and it's definitely going to be good. It's going to be a good transition when I get to that stage. So just trying to get myself in that mental space now. What's up, guys? It's just a mini update. Judging by this weekend's analysis, I need to be more on the ball this week and just fully prepared. So what I'm going to do is reforecast the opportunities for the rest of today and tomorrow potentially. Make sure that I'm fully prepared, and then any opportunities that do come, there's zero hesitation, I can just take them. So that's what I'm about to do, and then I'm going to dive straight into some advanced self-review, try and dissect my trades that I've taken throughout June, July, and then see if there's any tweaks, any adjustments I can make to improve my overall trading and get it to the next level. So that's what I'm going to dive into, and then go for coffee after that, I think. So we'll do that, and yeah, I'll catch up with you guys soon.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the ninth inning, there ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream, live it right, that's the thing. Every night got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, here I'm screaming, okay, it's a dream. And I pray as a team, one day it'll be me. If I want it.
So just a mini update on Euro Pound. It's currently running around 1.3, so not too much. It hasn't really moved in the last couple of hours, to be honest. It's just forming a correction. So I'm looking to see if I can scale into this trade. What I'm bearing in mind is this can actually come back up to the upside, and if it does so, then I'm totally fine with that. It'll tag me out for break even, and I'll just look for more opportunities at the highs again. So nothing changes if that happens. What I'm looking at right now is that we have this correction forming on lower time frames. What I'm looking for is just a bit more development to form, and then something of substance to then take that to the downside. So we may get something along the lines of this, and then I'll be looking to take that to the downside, either here or here, and then targeting. The good thing about this is before price reaches this trend line, I'll already be at break even, so that's good. And then the bottom of the structure here for around about 8%. So it's looking good. It just needs more development, and of course just stay neutral with this because it can come back up to the upside to just form a bigger structure. So I do have that in mind as well. So that's it in terms of Euro Pound. Just gonna head to the coffee shop right now just to grab a quick coffee and then come back and get on with some more work. What's that? Who's that? Is that YouTube? Cutie, aren't you? Who's this?
To see if I succeed, to see if I believe. They're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me.
So just had a mini nip out just to grab some quick coffee. Gonna head back now and then get into some July ASR, so it should be good.
Swear to God, man, I'ma make it soon. Silence all the haters as they see us making moves. I do what I want, so I got nothing to prove. Staying motivated, teaching others what to do. I'm staying focused, my mind is open.
So update time in terms of my June ASR, I've just finished it. It's taken me a little bit longer than I expected it to do, but at the same time I've just gone into deep detail and tried to figure out the small things that I need to work on. So the biggest takeaways that I've taken away from June so far is to reforecast a few times per day, set yourself up for success that way. Right now I'm just doing it twice per day, but I think doing it this way is just going to reaffirm those setups into your mind, and then when they do occur, they're just second nature and you just take them. So that's one of the biggest things. The next thing is to search for 90 to 95% efficiency with my trading plan. So I'm not there yet, instead of focusing on results. So what I found is when you focus on trying to master your trading plan with efficiency, results come as a side effect anyway. So that's what I'm trying to focus on. Plan for the probable and possible, super simple concept, but very true. And then to focus on the high quality trades and just stack confidence in my favor.
If I take this trade, am I at the efficiency level that I need to be? And it's kind of like, whoa, if you take that trade, that is not efficient to your plan, don't take it.
Yeah.
Works out, it's not congruent to who you're trying to be.
So just to give you a bit of an insight, one of my other goals is to become a Falcon FX coach. Now, obviously this is going to take time. It's going to take time to develop the skill of coaching. It's going to take time for my trading to get to a certain level that I need to coach. So what I'm going to do very shortly is jump on a call with another member and just try and help out as much as I can with anything that they're struggling with.
and just give back as much as possible. And this is one way that I'm just practicing getting the skill to a certain level and hopefully just helping out as much as I can.
In terms of like a tradesman candle, you see one and you think, right, it's retraced, do I get in? And you get tagged in, tagged out.
Something to pay attention to is how it gets there, right? So the key thing is, like we said before, is how we get to the third touch.
It's like Mark said, it's like you can't flirt with the idea, you have to go like, a bit like what Will Smith says, like you've got to go all in.
So it's a little bit later on now, and I've just wrapped up a practice coaching call with one of the Falcon members, which was a really good call overall, and I'm just about to head to the gym soon as well. But before I do so, I wanted to give you a quick update on this euro pound trade, how I'm currently managing the position, and my thought process on it. So looking at euro pound right now, the real question I want to be asking myself is, has anything changed structurally? So the answer in my mind right now is no. So the reason for that is, following that first impulsive move, I was looking for continuation here to then get involved again to the downside. That didn't happen. We just retraced that move, and it looks like we're forming a small correction here to potentially head higher or create a deeper structure. So what I'm looking at right now going into the day ahead is, if we move down, we could move up from here, but if we move down, that would form nicely, because what that means is we get something along the lines of this, and then what that then means is that we've just got the impulse, the continuation within the pattern, and then it's likely we'll move up one more time, form a similar type structure to here or something very similar, and then I'll be looking for the exact same thing as I did here, taking that to the downside. So if that does form, then perfect, nothing's changed structurally, and I'll be taking that to the downside with likely a 20, 25, 30 pip stop. It's hard to tell at this point, but looking at something along the lines of that, and that'll be a really nice trade. So looking at that, and I'll be taking that to the downside and then building on that as much as I can. If the trade that I'm currently in takes me out of break even, or it does drop lower, then I'll update you, because it's likely it will complete after this day. So what I'll do is a mini recap or a mini update at the end of this video, updating you how the trade played out and if I do get in the trade again. So don't worry at all, you're not going to miss out on anything. I'm going to update you in terms of the trade. So that's what I'm looking at on euro pound. Going to hit the gym now, and I'll catch up with you all soon. Just gone 8:30 in the UK right now. Currently at another gym today, testing out this gym. It's currently not within my current budget right now. I'd rather put the money back into trading and obviously fuel the business. So that's where my mind's at right now. But yeah, it's gonna be good to test this out. And with this being a day in the life of my future self, I thought it'd be a great time to come here, film this, because it's a place where I wanna go in the future. So should be good. And without further ado, let's get into the gym.
Call me offensive even though I ain't gonna lie, life's tough. Try to get by, life's rough. Try to do it right, it's not enough. Even though you try, you still mess up. But I'm still gonna fight for what I love. Still gonna die for what I love. Still gonna try, I won't give up. Still gonna fight until I've won. They say I'm way too obsessed and I've got nothing left. And I'm not quite there yet, but those words they'll regret. Cause I've got something left and I'm not giving in. I will not let them win. I won't stop till the end. No.
So just got finished up with Nuffield Health at the gym centre, so that was really good. Shout out to the gym for letting us film there. And overall today has been a really, really good day. I've just been able to get myself in that state as if I'm already a full-time trader. Do not underestimate how powerful that is. I know it sounds cliche when you first see it, but when it's backed by a lot of hard work, then it really does cement that belief in your mind that it's possible, and it just edges you closer to that goal. So do not underestimate that, give it a go for yourself. And just a quick summary, those are the 3 main goals that I'm working on. So becoming a full-time consistent and profitable trader, being in a position to trade investor capital, and then becoming a Falcon FX coach. So those are the main things that I'm working on. Super excited, and within these next 12 months it's going to be a big year. I know it's going to test me in many ways, but I also know as a result of that it's going to elevate me to new levels. So keen to give it just everything I have and just put in lots of work behind the scenes, get to where I want to get to, and then just measure the progression over time. It's going to be a big year, I can feel it. I'm just ready to dive into more work now. So going to be good. But to end out this video, going to get into some daily watch lists right now, plan for Tuesday, which is tomorrow. And yeah, keen to see how your pound develops, whether we continue dropping or we go back up, I take a break even and then I get back in. So it's going to be good. Going to update you at the end of the video on how I manage it and if I do any more trades or any more scalings.
Welcome back, guys. It's currently 2 weeks after I took this initial position on Euro-Pound short at the top of the structure. So obviously there's only a certain amount of price action that can develop in just one day. Hence why I'm doing this recap to answer some of the common questions you may have. How has this trade played out? Am I still in the trade? If so, how am I managing it? So with that in mind, wanting to get into this right now. So I think the last you guys saw was that price impulsed, retraced, and then began to trickle around. 2 weeks later, how has price played out? So played out really nicely, and I'm currently running just below 10% profit, so 9.8% profit on both positions, and I've currently got 2 trades open on this right now, which I mentioned at the start of the video. So one for the shorter to medium term and then one for the medium/longer term, both on separate accounts, both different trading styles and obviously different styles of management as well. The first being a lot more aggressive, the second being a lot more lenient with price action in alignment with the higher time frame structure. So currently got 8% locked in on the first trade. So my stops on the first position are here, just above this high here. And then the second position, which is a longer term trade, I'm obviously giving it a lot more room to breathe, and that is locked in at 5% profit. So let's take this back. Let's take price back to the initial position. Why did I take the trade in advance anyway? So let's quickly review this trade. Back to here. So why did I take this position first and foremost? Well, firstly, we're in a great value area on Euro-Pound right now in this current price action. So we're at the bigger double top. If we just zoom out, at this point, we were at the bigger double top. Great value area to be looking for selling opportunities. Jumping down to the 1 hour chart. We're at the bigger double top. We have this clear ascending channel with the first touch, second touch, and third touch here at the top of the structure. And we have all the makeup within this channel here for the completion of the pattern to then drop to the downside. So we also had the pattern within a pattern. So you can see this mini pattern within the overall bigger pattern, add to the confluence factors. And the last thing I want to point out is that we've just broken out of that double top. So notice how we've just broke out and then retraced completely back into the pattern. So the key psychological thing behind that is that it's just the mass psychology of the market. It's just the market's way of getting people caught on the wrong side of the move before the bigger move to the downside. So if you think about that from a psychological perspective, is all that's doing is getting traders shaken out of the move before the bigger move commits. So it's just stop hunting, essentially, getting people caught on the wrong side of the move before the move lower, which is what we saw happen. And let's play this position out. So around about here, was price close to taking me out for break even? Yes, it was. So what was we? I think it was around about 5 pips away. So too close for comfort, in all honesty. It nearly took me out for break even. And I was looking at this trade as if we were going to potentially form a bigger continuation to then head higher, break the high one more time, and then from a psychological perspective, once again, that would really get people caught on the wrong side of the market before the move lower. Now, what developed later? Began to trickle around, forming a pattern of its own. So pattern separation is in order here. Began to develop this pattern of its own, and we started to develop this. We've got this clear descending formation developing. I'm at this point looking to see whether we get that one more move to the upside, like I said before, or we can just completely drop out from here, which we did. So let's fast forward price action. We actually got another entry in here. Wasn't within my plan personally, but we got another entry. and then we started to drop to the downside. So that was nice. And at this point, did I have any profit locked in? At this point, I didn't have too much profit locked in. So I had 2% profit locked in just above this high here. And let's play this out further. Here's the key. So after we got this rejection at this double bottom area, I then locked in profit. Again, because I'm holding for the short to medium term, I'm giving it more room to breathe. So I just locked in profit above this high here and began to play out. So was there any emotions with this trade? Obviously being my first longer term hold trade that's playing out. The only time I really felt a little bit of emotional side come in, I guess, was here. So it was very close, and essentially it was because I was looking at the line and sand within the market. You know, I need to pick a line and sand in terms of where I'm going to lock in profit. So do I lock it in here? Do I lock it in here? Like, you need to pick that. So I decided to lock it in here, especially managing for the medium/longer term, and then let price develop. We began to form a continuation. So at this point, we just formed this continuation pattern here. You can see very clear, 3 sections, 1, 2, 3, middle section within the pattern. That was looking clean. And then we developed. So this evolved slightly at this point. And we began to develop into this pennant style formation, and then just completely dropped out, which is where current price action is right now. So, like I said before, currently got 8% locked in on the first position. And the reason for that is because I'm being a lot more aggressive with this position. We're at the first inflection point that I was looking at. So we're at this first trend line, 1, 2, third touch here. And this is a point where essentially price can completely break through, or alternatively, we can just completely retrace, go back up for one more high before the bigger move lower. So being neutral in that respect, and I'm keen to lock in profit. So with that in mind, got 8% locked in at this point and just above that high here. Here's the key thing. I'm being a little bit lenient with this because if market opens, let's just draw this in. If market opens, I'm just going to see how market opens, see how that develops. Because although I have 8% locked in profit here, this could develop a continuation pattern and then completely drop out. So with that in mind, if this develops into something along the lines of this, tags me out for 8% and then just completely falls off the face of the earth, do I want to be tagged out of that trade? No, I don't. So if that's pretty corrective, that nature upon retracing, then I'll just move this back slightly in accordance with how corrective that nature is, and then I'll be looking for a scaling opportunity here to then break lower. So that's how I'm managing that trade. The second trade, let's just take a look at this. So the second trade, what's the reasoning behind this? I'm giving it a lot more room to breathe, and the reason being is because price can actually develop into a bigger structure here. So what I'm seeing is that if we just draw this potential pattern in here, just draw this potential pattern in here. Now, I'm not going to go into entry specific criteria because obviously respecting the style that I'm trading, things like that. But what I'm paying attention to is price can actually pull back. So if we just replicate this price action here, just for a little bit of a guide, and if you get something along those lines, 1, 2, third touch here, I want to leave enough room for price to move. So give it enough room to breathe to then potentially scale into that trade and build on that to the downside, because that essentially could be the bigger trade that just completely falls out and then we get all the way down to here. So there's definitely a few variations within this, definitely a few particular to the style as well, but that's how I'm managing the two trades. 5% locked in on longer term approach and then 8% on the other one as well. So in an ideal world, I would have already been out of this position for this recap. However, I could still be holding this trade in 2 weeks' time. So I wanted to film this recap now and give you almost a live recap of my thought process going through this trade right now. And what I'm going to do is do a trade recap once this position is closed on my Instagram. So if you follow my Instagram at Michael Bamber, I will do a trade recap once this position is closed. So hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed this video. I've absolutely loved this video and hopefully it provides value in some way for you. And please leave me feedback below. Let me know what suggestions you want to see in the future. And feel free to give this a go for yourself as well. So hope you enjoyed the video and I'll catch you all in the next one. Speak to you soon.